Welcome to Seeing Green Solutions for Our Daily Lives, the podcast where we spotlight the brands, ideas, and people making it easier to live sustainably every day. Today's episode is part of our Spotlight series, a deep dive into one of our Seeing Green Solutionists of the day. And now, today's solution.
Welcome to this deep dive, everyone. Today's section is part of our Seeing Green Spotlight series. And here we take a closer look at the Seeing Green Solutionist of the day, focusing on the real solutions they bring to help us all be, well, healthier and greener in our daily lives. Now, before we jump into today's brand, I just have to say, I really enjoyed putting together that Greening My Laundry deep dive we released yesterday.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
I mean, who knew thinking about socks and washing machines could get so involved or have such a, impact?
It was surprisingly complex, wasn't it?
Yeah.
If you haven't had a chance to listen yet, definitely check that one out. It's a pretty fascinating look at laundry's environmental footprint, plus some great brands doing cool things.
Absolutely. But for today, we're circling back to a topic that's always popular, sustainable food.
Ah, yes.
Specifically, we're diving into the world of plant-based options again.
It's such a critical area, isn't it? Especially for building more resilient food systems. We've touched on it before, looking at innovators like Prime Roots, Barnana, Good Sam Foods, Next Level Veggie Grill too.
Right, and the Seeing Green website actually features, 35 plus other brands in this space as solutionists of the day. So definitely lots to explore there if food's your thing.
For sure.
But today's spotlight is on a brand that many see as one of the real pioneers in sustainable plant-based food, MorningStar Farms.
Oh, that's a great choice.
I heard our founder of Seeing Green actually has a MorningStar Farms product nearly every day of the week.
Huh? I believe it. They really are a legacy brand. And I think today the mission is to understand not just what they sell, but how this particular brand achieved such massive scale.
And how they stayed relevant, right?
Yeah.
And really helped kickstart a whole movement that's now, global.
Exactly. It's quite a story.
Okay, let's unpack this then.
So what's really fascinating about MorningStar Farms, I think, is that their role in sustainable food started way back. We're talking the 1970s.
The 70s, wow.
Yeah, long before plant-based was, a buzzword or a trend. Their origins, through a company called Worthington Foods, were actually rooted in early vegetarian and health principles. They were playing the long game from the start.
That's decades of foresight.
Mm-hmm.
So they were essentially creating a market that didn't really exist in the mainstream yet?
Pretty much. They were definitely among the very first brands to offer meatless options nationally at scale. And that early start really set them up.
Okay.
Now, while they started more niche, the huge shift came when Kellogg's acquired them in 1999. And today they sit under the Kellanova umbrella after that corporate restructuring.
Right. Does being part of Kellanova, does that fundamentally change their mission, do you think? Or is it more about reach?
Well, it certainly secured their reach, and that's a really crucial point here. MorningStar Farms became the brand that successfully took plant-based foods out of those kind of niche health stores.
Yeah, the ones tucked away in the corner.
Exactly, and put them right onto the main shelves in Walmart, Target, regular grocery stores all across the U.S.
That accessibility piece is huge.
It is. And because of that strategic move, for millions and millions of Americans, their very first taste of a meat alternative probably came from MorningStar. Maybe, in their school cafeteria or pulled from their parents' freezer.
So they weren't just selling burgers or nuggets, they were actually normalizing the whole idea.
Precisely. They helped all sorts of people, flexitarians, committed vegetarians, even just the curious try plant-based food. Maybe for the very first time, they didn't just introduce products, they helped introduce a whole movement long before it was cool.
Okay, let's spend some time breaking down their product lines then, so you know what they have to offer, and importantly, where you can actually find them. Because this focus on familiar formats, it's really the engine driving their success, right?
Absolutely. It's all about fitting into existing habits.
Yeah, you look at their strategy, it's totally aimed at, the weeknight dinner problem, finding easy replacements for the foods people actually rely on day to day.
Because let's be real, most people aren't whipping up complex vegan meals after work. They need something quick, something easy. Convenience wins.
Totally. So let's start with those everyday staples, the stuff you find right in the main frozen section at the grocery store. Prepared foods, basically ready to go. First thing that comes to mind, veggie burgers. They've got the classics like the garden veggie patty. That one's more, clearly vegetable based.
Right. You see the corn and carrots in it.
Yeah. Then there's the spicy black bean burger, always popular.
Yeah.
And then the ones that aim a bit more towards a meaty texture, like the Griller's Original and the Griller's Prime.
Oh, yeah. The Griller's Original. That's like the quintessential frozen veggie burger for ages. I definitely remember those being the default option at barbecues if you needed something non-meat.
Totally. It's a specific kind of taste memory almost. Very approachable.
Just super accessible, yeah.
I agree. They really nailed that frozen patty format early on. But they didn't stop at burgers.
Next up, plant-based chicken. This is huge for families, right?
Oh, massive.
We're talking chicken patties, perfect for sandwiches and chicken nuggets in a few different varieties. These are just dead simple swaps for parents trying to get something on the table kids will actually eat.
And that kid-friendly angle is so smart. If you can get the nuggets and patties switched out, two absolute weeknight heroes, you've basically locked in repeat buys from the whole household, not just the adults trying to eat less meat.
Good point. And they don't shy away from, like, peak comfort food either. They're firmly in the hot dog zone. They do corn dogs.
Plant-based corn dogs?
Yep.
And veggie dogs. Actually, I saw one review site, can't remember which, but it named the MorningStar veggie dog the best plant-based hot dog. It said it had great texture and snap.
Huh. Okay. They're really covering all the American cookout classics then.
Pretty much. But arguably, the product line that makes it easiest for people just dipping their toes into flexitarian eating. That's breakfast.
Yes, that makes total sense. Big category for them.
It's hugely popular. Why do you think that is?
Well, breakfast is often super routine, right? People
Yeah.
eat the same few things. And traditional breakfast meats, sausage and bacon, they're often pretty high in fat and sodium.
True.
So swapping out a regular sausage patty for a plant-based one feels like a really small change, but potentially a decent health upgrade without much effort. Low barrier to entry.
Yeah, I know tons of people who use the Morningstar sausage patties or the bacon strips all the time. They even have those, like, super convenient things, pancake and sausage on a stick. Plant-based.
Wow, okay. That's maximum convenience right there. It's
Okay.
like the perfect gateway product. Easy, familiar, low commitment.
Exactly. So moving beyond the stuff that's already formed into a meal, the next key group is what they call meal starters.
Right. These are more about versatility in the kitchen, not just heat and eat.
Yeah, like the beef-style crumbles, perfect for tacos, or adding to pasta sauce, making sloppy joes.
Yeah, really useful.
And then they have chicken strips, too. Those are great for throwing into stir-fries, salads, wraps. This shows they're thinking about the home cook who wants a bit more flexibility, right?
That versatility bucket is really strategic. Think about the crumbles. You can sneak plant protein into dishes where the main flavor comes from the sauce or the spices anyway.
Good point, like chili or bolognese.
Exactly. So the transition feels almost invisible. You're just swapping the protein source, not messing with your favorite recipe or how you cook it.
Okay, so that covers pretty much all the stuff you'd find in the grocery store freezer aisle, aimed at us regular shoppers. But the scale, the real reach of MorningStar Farms gets even bigger when you look at their other main channel.
Yes. This is that critical insight we touched on earlier. Food service.
Right. They have a huge presence in the institutional market. Think products specifically designed for chefs for large-scale kitchens.
So where would you find these?
You're finding MorningStar Farms products through massive contracts with places like colleges and universities, workplace cafeterias, hospitals, big corporate campuses,
Yeah.
even schools and airlines sometimes.
Okay, but why does that matter so much? Is a food service veggie burger different from the one I buy at Kroger?
Oh, completely different formulation usually. Retail products are designed for, you cooking one or two at home and one in the best taste experience.
Makes sense.
Food service products, they need to perform well when cooked in huge batches. They need consistency.
Yeah.
They need to hold up well under heat lamps or in steam trays for maybe hours without falling apart or drying out.
Oh, okay.
And crucially, the cost per unit has to be really efficient for those big buyers. So getting deep into institutional food means they're influencing the diets of millions of people who might not even realize they're eating plant-based.
Because it's just the
Right.
option that's there. It's just there. It solidifies their position as food for, like you said, everyday America, not just for people actively seeking it out. It's the burger offered in the dining hall, the crumble in the cafeteria chili.
Okay, but let me push back a little here. By leaning so heavily into those comfort foods, nuggets, corn dogs, sausages, are they maybe sacrificing some of the potential health benefits? Or, like, diluting the sustainability message compared to, say, whole food options?
That's a totally fair question. But I think the answer really lies in that democratization piece we talked about. If your main goal is achieving scale and making a real impact.
You're going to meet people where they are.
Exactly. You have to meet consumers where they are.
Yeah.
Morningstar figured out early on that by replicating those familiar formats, they dramatically lowered the barrier to entry.
Right, less intimidating.
Way less intimidating. They created these sort of entry-level plant-based options that made it easy for flexitarians to just try it, take that first step without needing a whole diet makeover. And, they essentially normalized the idea of what a meat alternative could taste like and feel like decades ago, which arguably paved the way for all the more sophisticated, maybe whole food-focused products we see popping up now.
That makes a lot of sense. And that massive scale they achieved is precisely why this matters, right? It's not just having a good product. It's the ability to shift habits for millions of people.
Yes. And if we connect that to the bigger picture, this is where the climate impact story gets really powerful. What does all this adoption, this scale, actually mean for the planet?
Well, it means real, measurable savings. We often hear that statistic animal agriculture is responsible for about, 14.5% of global greenhouse gas emissions?
Around that, yeah. It's a huge chunk. And plant-based proteins are just fundamentally more resource efficient across the board.
Less land, less water.
Significantly less land, water, and energy compared to animal proteins. I mean, when you look at the life cycle analyses, it's not just a tiny improvement. It's a really foundational difference in how efficiently we're using resources.
And the specific data on Morningstar's products seems to back this up really strongly. I saw a figure that a Morningstar burger produces. Is it up to 90% fewer greenhouse gas emissions than a beef burger?
That's the figure often cited, yes,
Yeah.
up to 90% fewer emissions.
Wow. How do we explain that huge difference in simple terms?
Well, it mainly comes down to two things: feed conversion and land use. Think about it. For beef, you're using enormous amounts of land, water, fertilizer, energy to grow crops just to feed the cow.
Right.
And then the cow converts only a tiny fraction of that energy into meat we can eat. Plus, you have the methane emissions from cattle, which are really potent greenhouse gases.
Okay.
With a plant-based burger, you basically cut out that really inefficient middle step feeding the animal. So that 90% figure reflects those massive savings in farming inputs and avoiding those methane emissions.
That is a huge return for just swapping out a burger patty.
It really is. And when you think about it happening at the scale, Morningstar operates at millions of people buying these products every week. Shifting even one meal regularly from animal-based to plant-based starts to add up. It compounds into really meaningful climate impact over time.
So these products, they're not just alternatives anymore, like a quirky side option?
No, not at all. They're becoming foundational tools, really, for building more sustainable food systems in the future because they deliver that environmental benefit, but at a high volume.
Okay, so as we kind of wrap up this deep dive on MorningStar Farms, what's the main takeaway? What really stands out most about their story? For me, I think it's that accessibility point. It feels like an underrated part of sustainability leadership sometimes.
I completely agree. That accessibility, that democratization, Morningstar was so early in doing that. They took plant-based food out of the, sometimes pricey specialty health food stores and put it right into Walmart, into mainstream grocery, long before it was considered cool or trendy. They proved it could work there.
And the price point often reflects that too, right? Their products tend to be relatively affordable, meeting people where they are financially.
Exactly. You don't necessarily have to break your budget or totally change your shopping habits just to make a slightly greener choice for dinner.
Which makes it easier for people to actually do it.
For sure. And that cultural influence piece is just undeniable. MorningStar Farms made it possible for millions of people to weave plant-based options into their normal, everyday lives without it feeling like some huge, disruptive, expensive lifestyle change.
They basically proved that plant-based could just be normal.
Yes, that's it. They normalized it. And that scale equals impact. Every single MorningStar Farms product bought represents one meal, one choice, shifted away from the much higher resource footprint of animal agriculture. That is sustainability leadership in action.
And that legacy, that reach, is why they're still so relevant today, isn't it? Even with all the new innovation happening in food tech.
Absolutely. Their massive established presence combined with how they continue to evolve their products, aiming to be better for the planet and easier for people to choose, that really cements their place.
They kind of set the stage, and their ongoing success shows that scaling sustainability through convenience and familiarity. That's a powerful strategy.
It really is a true pioneer story.
Well, if you want to learn more about MorningStar Farms, you can visit them at morningstarfarms.com. And are you interested in learning more about creating a greener, more sustainable daily life in general. Definitely check out the other deep dives we have both in this Spotlight series and our Greening My series. And hey, please subscribe while you're at it.
Yeah, don't forget to subscribe.
You can also join the Seeing Green community. Just sign up on the Seeing Green website. You'll find more trailblazers there, folks making really significant strides in promoting eco-friendly living through cool products, solutions, and practices. That's online at www.seeinggreen.eco.
Lots of great resources there.
For sure. And follow us at Seeing Green Eco across all the social media channels for the latest tips and solutions. We're on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Blue Sky, TikTok, LinkedIn, and now Pinterest too. You name it, we're probably there.
Keeping busy.
Trying to. All right, thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive. Until next time, keep seeing green.